Well, good morning, fellowship. Good to connect with you. We're trying something new again. This is live, and so we're going to see how it goes. Now, we're doing live for a couple of reasons. Number one is to bring you the words of hope that we do every Wednesday. And so we wanted to look at the verse that I posted just a couple days ago out of Philippians, chapter 1, verse 6. Second reason we're trying to do this live today is because this week we got some exciting news that churches are going to be able to start opening up and allowing people to come and gather on Sunday mornings up to 30% of their capacity. And so this Sunday, we're going to try a test of our live feed here at the church with no one around. And so we're trying today to make sure all of the technology works. So exciting days, good opportunity. Look forward to getting together with you in smaller groups in the coming weeks. So just stay tuned for that. And we'll have announcements and updates, emails going out in the next day or so. So just keep your eyes on your inbox of your email and we'll keep you up to date. There's a verse that I posted a couple days ago out of Philippians. I'll just read it for you. Reminder of what God's doing. And it's important to remember that even when it may seem like we're sort of stuck in a rut and not getting much accomplished, God is always at work. And this is what it says. This is what Paul shares with his friends, the Philippians, in chapter 1. And I am sure of this, that he who began a good work in you will bring it to completion at the day of Jesus Christ. So just to give you the quick backstory to that, Paul's talking to his friends, some people that he cares a lot about in Philippi. And he has just gone and told them how he thanks God for every time he thinks about them. How he thanks God for what has happened in their lives, the fact that they have accepted Jesus as their Savior, and now they are partners in sharing the gospel message wherever they go. And so that doesn't mean that everything is going great. It just means that they are now part of Paul's missionary team. And he cares for them and loves them and thinks fondly of them. And then he says this, the words that we get in verse 6. I just want to sort of dig down into them a little bit. He says this, that I am sure of this thing. That word sure talks about certainty. And it talks about confidence. That God is at work. And so he's confident of this one thing. That he's certain of it. It's like this is a promise that we can hold on to. That the one God who began a good work in you will carry it on to completion. See, there's a couple good promises that we can grab here, and I just want to encourage your heart with them today. Number one, that what God starts, he finishes. That's a good promise. It's a good thing for us to hold on to. That what God begins, he doesn't leave, he doesn't abandon, he finishes it. So maybe in these days where we've been frustrated and concerned and unsure of what the next steps are, we may have asked ourselves, what good can come out of this mess? What good can God be doing in these days? And so one of the promises that we have, or one of the ideas that come out of the promise that we have, is that God finishes what he starts, is that God's not wasting this time. And so one of the things that we can maybe do is look back and process, what have I learned in these past 10 weeks or so? What is it that I've learned about myself, about my heart? What have I learned about God and his faithfulness? What have I learned about his character? What have I learned? And what has God taught me? And what's the assurance that he's brought to my heart? So the point is this, that good can still come out of stuff that we don't understand or get. And the next thing that I want to sort of remind us of here is that God, because he finishes what he starts, is not bound by our frailties and our mess ups and our failings. In other words, perhaps the Philippians were feeling this way, and that's why Paul addresses it so quickly in the book. But maybe it's your heart. Maybe it's sort of your heart today, is that I've messed up bad. That I've really made a mess. In fact, maybe you're thinking I've even not taken advantage of these past 10 or 12 weeks the way I should have. And here's the good part, is that we can't mess up so bad that God can't continue to work in us. In fact, the promise is this, that he who began a good work in you, in spite of your failings and faults and all of your mess ups and all of your sinfulness and all of your hard-heartedness and all that stuff that sort of piles up, God continues to work, and he brings it to a spot of completion. So maybe you're thinking, in this situation, God, how can anything good come out of it? And maybe you're thinking in this situation, God, I've messed up so bad, and I've made such a mess of my life and of these days, and I've squandered my time, or whatever it is or maybe I've done stuff so bad that you can't really fix it all up, and I was going to have to go on through life. Here's the promise, that God doesn't give up on us. He doesn't abandon the project of maturing us and making us like Jesus. He doesn't stop working in our lives. Because Paul says this, that I'm confident of this. If I'm confident of anything, it's that what God has begun in us, he's going to continue on working. We are essentially works in progress. We're not done. We're in a process of refining and becoming more like Jesus. And so God is going to keep doing that. He's going to keep refining us until the day of Jesus Christ, Paul says. And the point he's trying to get at is, I think, that in that day of Jesus, that could come at any time. So God may be close to finishing us, maybe way closer to finishing his work in us than we even think. So above all, hold on to the promise that God is not done with us yet, and he will keep working in us, refining us, making us more like him, shaping our hearts and guiding us through this thing called life. And God may be further along the process of bringing us to completion than we can even imagine. So have heart today. Take hope that God is at work. He's at work in his kids. He's at work in you. He's at work in me, refining all of us. Because that's his promise, that he'll mature us and take us right through to the end when he's done with us. Be encouraged today. Enjoy the beauty of it. Be encouraged by what is happening in our culture. We look forward to getting together really, really soon. Have hope. And